All right, I'm recording there. Everything sounds good. My mic sounds good. Your mic sounds good.
Check.
All right. Ready to play the intro. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Tina and Anderson Show. Thank you for coming back to episode 9. Now, as you guys know, if you watched episode 8, we're in the same thing.
We messed up.
For only the first part of the video. And if you want to know why, just go back. If you haven't watched episode 8, go back to episode 8. You'll understand why.
We're a bunch of ding-dongs.
So, yeah, again... It's episode 9. We're still learning. We're still, I would say, beginners. Not even novice. We're still beginners. You know, it's just we've done a podcast before. For those of you, small, tiny fraction of us who follow us and listen to our podcast before. We didn't do video. It was just audio. #living it. So this is another podcast, and we're adding audio. I mean, I'm sorry, I can't even speak. We're adding video. We're adding videos, so it's just a whole new other element that I'm trying to learn here, and
follow him
because yes, I'm the producer, director, editor. You know, I'm the one that plans what we're going to talk in the podcast. She just has to sit here and look cute. That's it. I do everything else.
Hey,
you know,
I contribute,
and we all know I'm not we all know I'm not the reason y'all came here. You know, so nobody wants to look at my face. Well, maybe her, but that's it. But anyway, so we're going to we have no video to react to today, which is okay. We're going to do something a little bit different. This is something we kind of wanted to do in earlier episodes, but we just saw those other things we wanted to react to. And we thought, you know what, let's just kind of do this, and we'll do this at another time, another episode when we feel, you know, it's good. So we felt like it's good here. We talked about in another episode, I don't know if it was last episode, or we talked about how we went to a marriage retreat hosted by Family Life. And then we went to a marriage conference that our church hosted, and they did materials from Family Life that hosted those marriage retreats I don't know if it's marriage retreat, not conference.
It's a true
marriage retreat. Yeah. So there was some date night questions. We kind of didn't really like them, so we went on their website.
We picked our own.
There's 25 questions, which we're not going to go to 25.
No.
And we're not going to do all 25. But there are 25 questions. I have it on my phone here. 25 questions to ask your spouse. Spouse, not partner. I feel like we're going to emphasize. I can't even say it.
Emphasize.
Yes, that all the time.
I got you.
Maybe if I drink some water.
I don't know. Maybe it's because you just worked all day.
I don't know. See, it's hard for me to enunciate words sometimes, which is crazy because I used to rap.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Mm-hmm. But anyways,
yep.
We picked 4 out of the 25. So do you want me to ask you and you answer it, or do you want to ask me? What do you want to do?
Here, I'll ask you first.
You want to ask me first? All right. She's gonna put me on the hot seat, everybody. Yeah. Look, we haven't asked these.
I ain't doing it first.
We haven't asked each other these questions. So she's gonna hear my answer for the first time. She might know what I'm gonna answer, but she might not. I don't know. Guys, you might witness a fight on the Tina Anderson Show.
We're gonna be like, cut.
No, he said fight.
Not again.
Oh my God. Mm-hmm. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, what is gonna say, listen to episode 8, but that's the missing footage. So you'll know what we're talking about maybe in a later date. Mm-hmm. So why I reacted like that, But anyways.
I mean, they might know if they follow me on TikTok and they were seeing all the comments on one of the videos.
Yeah, if they follow you, but they might not know where you comment.
Anyways, okay, ready?
Yes.
Number one. Number one, what was a high point for you this week and a low point? Highs and lows.
Well, we're going to have to maybe talk about last week because we're recording this on a Monday. So I would say last week, a high point, obviously we went out to breakfast. Went out to breakfast a couple of times. That was pretty nice.
Yep.
Yeah, we love doing that. Just going out for us without the kids.
Yeah.
That was pretty nice.
The kids are at school and we take off to breakfast.
Yeah.
What's going on with my sound?
Nah,
Is that me?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I just turned it down just because of the feedback a little bit.
Okay, low point.
Low point, probably realizing I didn't get stuff done that I wanted to get done.
Like the weekends. It ends and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah, there were things I wanted to get done, that I just didn't get done. Yeah, I would say that.
That's a low.
Yeah, that's a low. It's really nothing major. This is boring to you guys, isn't it? High point, breakfast. Low point, not getting done what I wanted to get done.
I mean, it might be relatable. People are like, oh man, I hate when that happens.
Yeah. I would say that's it, yeah.
Okay, what was it? Number one and then...
I said when it 1, 2, was it
okay.
5 and 9 or 4 and 9?
Whoops. What's one dream you have for our family?
Our family? To live in Maine.
Darn it, you stole mine.
Well, I mean, to live in Maine, by that time that happens, our kids will probably be grown.
They're going to have like their own families.
Place. But it would be nice for us to have a place in Maine that they can come and relax and unwind and kind of maybe do a little vacation, come stay with us.
See, I'm picturing forcing my kids to move with us to Maine.
Yeah.
I'm picturing making them.
Yeah.
You're coming with us to Maine. We're all moving to Maine. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care about your job. I don't care.
Right.
We're going. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, that's the thing. I think I
think that would be the dream if we all lived there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously if we were still here, I would still like a place for them to come and relax. We want to make this place in a way. I mean, if you guys know us personally, we've been doing a lot of stuff in our backyard because we want our backyard to be like a sanctuary. So even if we still were leaving here, we didn't move to Maine yet, and they were grown and moved out, I would still like this place to be a place that can come and relax, So yeah.
Number 5, right? That's what we said.
Yeah, it was like either 1, 2, and 5.
Okay, tell me one way I can better support you in the load that you're carrying right now.
That's tough.
What can I do for you?
That's I would say that's a very tough one. Hold on. Let me adjust the computer. Battery is low. Let me plug it in.
Plug it in? It's not plugged in? Oh, honey.
And that's it.
Okay.
That's it. This is our studio setup, everybody.
Isn't it plugged in?
So
one way I can better support you in the load that you're carrying right now. So
I don't know,
what is a load?
Mental load, emotional load. I don't know. Any load. That's a tough one because it's hard for me to
because you're a man and you're like, I got this.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to put stuff on you. Just because I don't want you to worry, or it's something that I don't want you feel like you have to take care of because I'm gonna take care of it. So I don't know. That's a hard one.
Yeah, I think it
might be. I think this is probably something I struggle with because there's really nothing that any load that I want to take off and give to you.
Yeah, but the stuff that I do means that you don't have to do it. So it doesn't necessarily mean something that you are literally handing to me. Like, if you are stressed out, say you're stressed out last week, isn't it nice that, like, I take care of things here and you don't have to come home and do all the things that I already did? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're stressed out all day, but then have to come home and you know, pick up the kids, drop off the kids, make dinner, do the laundry, all that kind of stuff. So, like, I'm doing that stuff, so you don't have to. So that's kind of like helping with any kind of load that you would be carrying, because it would be more of a load.
Right.
If I didn't do that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing I can think of right now. I mean, I think this might be something that I struggle with, that I need to work on personally, just because there are things that, I mean, I could give you a list of things, but those things I don't want you to do, not because I don't think you can handle it. It's because I don't want you to handle it.
Yeah. You're like, I got this.
I want to handle it.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, it's really nothing right now. I mean, like I said, this is probably something that I struggle with, that I need, like, to work on more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Okay, so what was that? Number 5?
Yeah.
Did we say 6?
No, I think it was 9.
9. Is there anything I can take off your plate to make life easier
like
for
the
you?
same
It's
thing.
the same thing.
Yeah, because I think one load is probably like mental or emotional load, and plate is probably like something physical that we do around the house. Like, hey, can I take out the trash so you don't have to? Things like that, which I don't want you to do that, because I don't want you to do it the night before, and I don't want you to do it early in the morning. Like, I'd rather do that. I don't know. I mean, I see this is nothing I can think of, because it's really, I think this is something that I really struggle with, that I need to work on.
He exhausts himself. Like, he'll take on so much on his shoulders and then I can see him, like, melting away. And I'm like, okay. Like, there's literally been times where I've said to you, you need to call in work tomorrow. You need to call in sick. You need to sleep, because, like, you don't see it and you're carrying too much.
Right.
And you're not getting enough sleep, and you've been up way too early, and you fill your days with stuff. And I can tell that, like, you're hammering yourself into the ground.
Like,
and, like, you don't see it, and I have to go, hey, red flag, red flag.
Well, I feel like the duties around the house that I do, I feel like they should be my duties, like taking out the trash. You know, I know we have the wood in the basement for our fireplace, and you like them to be chopped up into smaller pieces. So I do that. I feel like when we're low in the basement, I go to our racks outside of wood, and I bring more inside. I feel like that's me. I know you mow the lawn, but I would never ask you to mow the lawn, because I feel like that should be me. And I know you take that on sometimes, but I feel like I would never ask you, because I feel like that should be me doing it. I would never ask you to snow blow the driveway unless I'm, like, really sick. Like that one time years ago, I was really sick and you did it. But I feel like that should be me. I wouldn't ask you to do it, because I feel like that should be me.
And then on, like, the reverse side, I feel like there's things that, like, if you have to do X, Y, and Z, like, I'm failing. like I'm failing as a wife if you have to work all day and then come home and do this, that, and another thing
Yeah.
because I didn't get to it. Like it's a balance.
Yeah.
This is what people talk about. It's a balance.
Yeah.
And whatever the balance is for your marriage, that's the balance.
Right.
You know, if you both work, if one doesn't,
Yeah.
you know, your balance looks totally different depending on what your lifestyle is. This is our lifestyle. I stay home, he works.
Right.
So, yeah, but it's the same thing for me, though. Like, I'm saying, like, there's certain things that, like, I'm like, yeah, no, he shouldn't have to do that. He shouldn't have to do that. I'm home. He shouldn't have to do that, you know? So, just like you were saying, but, like, in the reverse.
Yeah. So I think that's just what we struggle with. We just, like, feel like, I don't know, if there's anything, you know, I would say maybe, I don't know, clean my nightstand.
Clean your nightstand.
I don't know.
What, more often?
I don't know. I mean,
yeah, we like, oh my God, I barely get to our room to clean it, to like deep clean it, because I'm doing the rest of the house.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that. You want to do one more? Or you want me to ask you and then we'll.
I'm just kind of going down now. I'm like, oh, wait.
Don't go too much because I got to ask you and then.
Okay, what? Well, wait, what's one that I just saw?
We got to make sure we know what we're asking each other because I want to ask you the same thing.
Yeah. In what area could I love you better?
What area? Mm-hmm. Oh, my God.
We're going to get into a fight.
This is a family show.
Uh-oh.
What? Ask me the question again.
I'm like, I lost it. Hold on.
Dum, dum,
What area could I love you better in, basically? Yeah. In what area could I love you better?
Well, I mean, this is something you could do, but look, I don't expect you to do this.
Uh-oh.
But you, I mean, it would be nice, but you don't have to do this, okay? This is just for the sake of answering the question.
Right.
It would be nice if you woke up with me in the morning before I went to work.
For like a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I feel like death in the morning.
That's what I'm saying. 'Cause I know mornings are hard for you.
Really
That's
bad.
what I'm saying. You wouldn't have to, I don't know, expect you to do that. But if
I
you did,
think that would be nice too. Sometimes,
if you did, that, I mean, it would be nice, but you don't have to,
right?
You know, so
right.
I would say that's one. All right, so, which one was that they asked me? Do you remember what number that was? Well, I know what their question was, so that's
okay.
fine.
Just go.
All right, so for you, what was a high point for you? Well, this past week, and a low point.
High point, I guess, would be watching. Well, see, Maya doesn't really play in her basketball game, but like, I'm just excited that she's playing.
Yeah, she's a sophomore that made varsity.
She made varsity, but the coach told her, you know, you're not going to see much playing.
Yeah, she's a sophomore. So
you know, but
it's expected.
You know, I'm proud of her, and I'm like, oh, I'm at a varsity basketball game, and she's a sophomore, and this is great. She made the varsity.
No,
team.
it is a good accomplishment, achievement.
So that was cool to go to that. A low. I don't know. I didn't feel very well, like this past week, so I didn't go to the gym very much. What did I get there once, twice?
So that was the low point.
It was just kind of like a blah kind of a week. I was just feeling like, ugh.
Yeah. When there's a week when I don't hit the gym as often, that's a low point for me too.
I'm like, well, you don't feel good, so you don't go to the gym, but then you feel even worse because you didn't go to the gym, so now you're like down on yourself. Anyways, yeah.
All right, so what's one dream you have for our family?
Basically the same thing, but just kind of adding in a little bit more detail, like, you know, moving to Maine or something along those lines, or, you know, like whether it be not until we move to Maine, but like, you know, moving into a bigger place one day, you know, a bigger place. But you know, like the goals we have in this house, we still have so many.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like so not done with the backyard. You know, we still have the kitchen to do, the bathroom to do, like the basement.
Right.
Like, it seems like we've done so much.
Yeah,
because
when we say like, yeah,
but
right. I think I don't know if you would agree with me. I think when we say like a bigger place, not like more bedrooms, more bathrooms, talking about more like, you know, maybe like a bigger living room or a bigger kitchen or or a space that we can have a podcast studio.
yeah.
But that's just inside. Then the other space is more land because we want to have our own garden. We want to have our own chickens. We are going to have chickens here, but we are limited with space on our land here. So we want to have more chickens, and then possibly if we have more land, get a couple goats. You know, and want to be.
Who knows?
Yeah, we
Who
want to.
knows?
Yeah, we want to be like self-sustaining in some capacity. Like have our own garden where we don't have to buy any vegetables anywhere because we have all the vegetables we need here, and then we can have all the eggs we want here, you know, and just growing our stuff and eating more natural food that we're growing ourselves, and are not being dependent on just always going to the grocery store.
Yeah.
So that's like what we're talking about, like bigger place, not just like, you know, twice the size of this. I mean, like I said, bigger living room, bigger kitchen,
Maybe
would be nice.
bigger closet.
Yeah, bigger closets.
Bigger closets. This
Still
house
can
was
be
built in the 50s, so all the closets are small.
Yeah, so it still could be like the same amount of rooms, just like square footage a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And things like that. So I think, but I don't know if you agree with me, but that's what I'm thinking when I think about bigger.
Yeah, no, I don't necessarily think like, oh, we definitely need like 2 more bedrooms. Like, why would we?
Yeah.
Our family is complete.
Yeah.
Our kids are growing up, and like, you know, next would be grandkids.
Right,
You
right.
know, but like, you don't need a bedroom
Maybe
for
like
each of the grandkids.
A 2-car garage.
Yeah, like a garage would be crazy because we just have a shed.
With a room above it.
Yeah, that'd be cool too.
Yeah.
Podcast studio.
Yeah. So all right. So there's that one, and then the other one was 9. So is there anything I can take off your plate to make life a little easier for you? Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for you to bombard me with things.
Nah, not really. My God, you already do so much. But this past week where you had a little bit more time at home, like you being more involved in the dropping off and the picking up of the kids is like insanely helpful.
Yeah.
I feel like a wind up toy half of the time.
Right.
Like I'm literally just going to the school, coming back, going to the school, coming back. And I bet you a lot of parents know exactly what I'm talking about.
Right.
I mean, and now with her basketball schedule and her practice schedule is not even
it's crazy.
It's not the same every day. It's not like, okay, school ends and then practice gets out at 4. No. Sometimes I have to go pick her up at 2, come home, bring her back at 4, come home, like, and then go back and pick her up and then come home. And this is after, because our kids don't ride a bus. So I do parent drop off and parent pickup. And
Right.
I've got 2 kids that have 2 totally different drop off and pickup times. So like, I'm talking, I am back and forth all day long. So when you can help with anything drop off or pickup related, I'm like,
Yeah, nah, that can
I'm
be.
like, oh, that it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Nah, I understand that can be frustrating.
And then sometimes though, I feel like I don't even want to ask you because you just drove to Boston and back.
Yeah.
Or you were just in the Cape all day
No, I
and
was
back.
in Connecticut.
And that you were in Connecticut all day and back. So like I get that you're doing a lot of driving, but I just think that like when it's back and forth, but it's super monotonous. It's super monotonous.
Which is fine. Yeah, I want to come home and be home.
Yeah.
But like today, if you needed to make dinner, then yeah, I'll go pick her up.
Yeah, I literally said to him, okay, so I could start dinner now and you could go pick up Maya, or I could go pick up Maya and I start dinner later. And he was like, I'll go pick up Maya. Like he was hungry. So it's, you know, it's a huge, like a massive help because it's so monotonous and it's all day long and it's every day.
Right.
It's, you know, 5 days a week at least.
Yeah.
And then now apparently Maya has practices on Sundays. So
I know, which is crazy.
I'm just like, but it's not like they don't need the practices, you know? So,
Right.
you know, they're kind of trying to get their team back up and running.
Yeah.
So I get it. But what was the next one? There was another one. It was the Love You Better. Is that one?
Oh, in what area could I love you better? More hugs.
No, no, you give me plenty of affection. That's not an area that I need more. Maybe compliments, but not so much like, I don't know, like complimenting my food. Like you will compliment me until you're blue in the face, but I have to ask you.
All right, so you want me to compliment things you do?
Yeah.
Like food.
Or
Okay.
yeah, oh my God. Like if you noticed anything I did in the house, I'd be like, whoa. Like I get it. You're not going to notice if I mopped the floors today. Like you're not going to notice. But if I've spent an entire day trying to get the house kind of back in order, clean up, it'd be great.
Right.
If you noticed like, wow, the house looks awesome.
Okay.
And then just like food, like I make a lot of stuff from scratch. You know, like I'm trying to do like healthy.
So when I eat, it'd be like, this is a triumph, my dear.
A triumph, my dear.
That's from one of the Scrooge movies.
Scrooge. But like seriously, like if any other women are watching this and they're like, I totally get it. Like put it in the comments. 'Cause like, does your man like compliment your food or do you have to say, well, is it good? 'Cause like I literally have to say, is it good?
Yeah.
And then he'll be like, oh my God, it's amazing. But it's like, I have to ask.
Yeah.
He doesn't just be eating it and be like, this is awesome. This is so good. I've been dying for this. You know, like, I don't know. Is it just me?
No, I get it.
Is it just me or do other women kind of struggle with
So
this?
if I compliment the steak you cook, you'll make more steak more often?
Oh my God, yeah. Well, it gives me a better gauge too. Like, I don't know how I've gotten this far along in our marriage and know what to cook for you because you don't tell me like, like you don't tell me what you like and you're not like, oh, this is so good. And I have to ask. And if I don't ask, then I just don't know if you liked that meal or not.
No, I get it.
You know,
I totally get it. I totally get it.
Hello.
All right, so I don't know. Do you want me to ask want to do one more, and then we'll move on to the Reddit story?
You can do one more.
Okay. Okay. What is the one thing that you're grateful for in this season of life?
Grateful for?
Yeah.
One thing?
This season, meaning this year or you know, in the year in the decade of 2020 or in your 40s. Just told everybody her age.
Thanks.
I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble now.
I don't know, man. I don't know. We've done so much to the house. You know, I'm just like, I'm still like, we've been here for 9 years. We've lived in this house and I'm still like in awe that we live here.
Right.
Like we live in like the world's most perfect neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like I just can't believe the blessings, you know, like I'm always just like standing back and looking.
No, yeah.
I
agree.
What we have now because the situations that we came out of, I would have never guessed that we would have raised Maya in
Yeah.
in a house.
Yeah, she's pretty much like experienced. I mean, they all experienced 9 years, but when it
Yeah.
comes to like
Maya was
when it
so
comes
young
when
when
you
we
come
moved
to
here.
like the span of their life,
Yeah.
Maya has more experience in the house than
like
not.
this is her childhood.
Yeah.
Like this neighborhood is her childhood.
Yeah.
This school system is her childhood.
Yeah.
And like I would have never ever predicted that, like just coming from where we came from, which
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get into in other
Yeah.
videos, that that we're here and that like we own a house, and then the things that we're doing on top of that are just basically luxuries.
Right.
They're not necessities, and we get to do these
Yeah.
extra things to the house that are definitely just luxuries. They're not necessities.
Right. Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm just so thankful to be able to give this to our kids.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for people who, don't know where we came from, we definitely came a long way. And we're just grateful. I mean, this is a modest house. It's not like big, but it's
Yep.
a nice house, and we've done.
It's cozy.
Yeah, we've done work to
cozy.
it. We're going to continue to do more work to it. It's not where we want it to be, but it's a great house, and we are in a pretty great neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
We are. We got a decent amount of land, like we've said before. I mean, like we said earlier in the video, we want more land, but we got
Super
we got more
thankful
land
for
than
what
most.
we have.
We got more land than most of the neighbors.
Most of the neighborhood.
Yeah, a lot of the neighbors in this neighborhood do not have the amount of land we have, and we don't have a lot.
Yeah.
So
and it's just like when you've done most of the stuff that has been done in your house, and you can look around, and like you've done that.
Yeah.
Like we've had a hand in mostly everything, any improvement or update or luxury that we've put in. It was us.
Yeah, our backyard was like barren, except with like an old used swing set that I bought from somebody on Facebook Marketplace, and then I took it apart, brought it here,
together.
and pieced it together, and had to like brace it with other pieces, and but yeah, it looks completely different from when we first moved in the backyard.
Yeah.
It's just insane. A lot of the stuff that we've done done back there.
Mm-hmm.
So I would agree. I would say the same thing. I mean, we're always grateful for where we're here because we know where we were before, and it was very humbling where we were before, and to own your own property, it's really
Rewarding.
it's a good feeling, whether it's big or small. I mean, we have friends that have bigger properties than us, and we're
Way
not jealous
bigger.
because just like them, we own a property, and we're happy, we're proud because of how hard we had to work to get it. So we're proud of it. So we don't compare. We don't. We're very happy and proud of what we got, and we're happy for our friends. If they have a bigger house, we're happy for them because we know they worked hard for what they got, so we don't compare. We don't.
Yeah.
We're happy for we're happy with what we got. We're happy for what we've done to it and how hard we worked to get here, so we're very, very proud. So it's good to be grateful. Same thing.
Well, we always say it's so important to reflect back.
Yeah.
To remember where you came from, remember your story, keep memories in your head of your kids and where we were and what we were doing and how old they were, and take pictures, take videos, take pictures.
Yeah.
You just it's so important to reflect. We do it all the time.
Yeah.
We do it all the time because we cannot believe that we are where we are coming from where we came from.
Because it seemed impossible for a while.
Yeah. I mean, I remember just wanting so badly, just wanting the basics.
Yeah.
I just want a nice place to live and a decent car.
Right.
That's all I want.
I know it's crazy. It's crazy because a couple of people maybe it was one person. So I have a 2013 F-150. It's a 2013. It's 11 years old, right?
It's like
in
the
great
story
condition.
of our life.
And people are like, wow, what year is that car? And I'm like, oh, it's a 2013. And I told how much I paid for it, which wasn't a lot. And I was like, isn't that a great car? Like, look at it. And people are like, you're really proud of it. I'm like, yeah, because it's an 11-year-old car, and it's in great condition for the age that it is.
And you paid cash.
But and I paid cash for it. I remember the cars we used to have. Remember the Buick where only one door opened? Mm-hmm. We had a Chevy Lumina where the engine fell out of it.
Engine fell out.
We had a Ford One Star that always had issues.
So many issues it was literally every weekend.
I remember
every weekend we had to bring this car to the mechanic every weekend. Every Friday.
I remember when Maya was born, we had that 93 Chevy Lumina, which was like rusted. And I remember, obviously the nurse probably thought nothing of it. It was just me in my head thinking, here's this nurse wheeling my wife out and my brand new baby. And I pull up in this rusty old Chevy Lumina, and I'm thinking, she's probably thinking, what kind of home is this baby going to?
Which she probably wasn't.
I'm judging.
But
I'm judging this nurse, basically saying she's judging us. She's probably wasn't even thinking that.
Probably not.
She's probably thinking these people were where I used to be.
Maybe.
Maybe that's what she was thinking.
Maybe.
But because I'm a man and I want the best for my family, I felt a little ashamed. But feeling that shame definitely drove me to work hard to get them out of it. Mm-hmm. So, the shaming myself did kind of work. But yeah, terrible. I just remember things like that. So that's why, even though my truck is 11 years old, I think it hardly has any rust. And it's in great condition, so I'm like very proud of it.
Yeah, you still hold pride in it. Yeah,
and I see people with brand new trucks, and I'm like, hey, that's great. You have a brand new truck. That's so awesome. I just wouldn't want the car payment, But that's it. But that's basically, we're just grateful for what we got. It doesn't have to be brand new. It doesn't have to be the biggest. It just has to be ours and functional.
Yeah,
yeah. So we're very grateful for it. Yep. So, all right. So
what's the Reddit?
So we're gonna go on to this Reddit story.
Segue.
I think I gave you guys a tease about it in the last episode. Our TV got a.
What happened?
The signal on the TV went.
It's been going on and off. By the way, it's been doing that.
Yeah, we have
out and back in.
We see we have our this computer screen. We have it on the TV because sometimes if we read the Reddit story or if we play a video, it's just easier to watch it on the
big TV,
on the TV than it is on the
screen. Yeah,
on the screen. So let me see if I can pull it. Let me see if I can get it back.
It's been doing this. Like it would say no signal and then go back on, and then no signal and then go back on, like all on its own. So I don't know what's happening.
Let me see if it'll come back.
Bear with us.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Typical.
This is just
we go to use the TV that we've plugged in, and of course it's not working.
Yeah.
No.
And if I plug it back in.
Connected. Oop, what's up?
Oh, there we go.
Hey,
All right, so we got it back. All right, sorry guys for that part. All right, so
little hiccups.
So we're gonna read this Reddit story. It's kind of a little long, but I'm gonna try to read it as clearly and concise,
which doesn't seem to be going so well today,
as I can for you guys.
Better you than me.
All right, so. All right, it says, my husband and I have a 2-year-old daughter. Actually, let me read what it's about. It says, husband still won't help with our children, and I'm losing it. So my husband and I have a 2-year-old daughter. She's a sweetheart and really smart, but she is a toddler. So there are tantrums and bad days, and days when I feel burnt out because I've been playing hide and seek all day. Read the same story to her 10 times. I'm touched out, and I just want to drink a cup of coffee. Hot from
cup
start
of coffee.
to finish with zero interruptions. You know what that's like. Wanting something
Do
with
I
zero
ever.
interruptions.
Do I ever?
All right, so I'm now coming to the realization that he was supposed to offer help regardless of whether. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Let me go back. I skipped this point. So that being said, when my daughter was born, I got help from my mom for the first month. So he was kind of on the sidelines. After that, he was kind of helpful. I mean, we alternated nights for her nighttime routine, but that was about it. I did every feeding and diaper change, and I let it go on for too long. I always felt guilty for asking him to do things in the middle of the night or after he got back from work, because I felt like he works so hard, he must be exhausted. True, but it's his kid too, you know. I'm now coming to the realization that he was supposed to offer help regardless of whether I asked or not. Got something to say about that. So, because he is he is her father. I mean, it's not like he ever offered and I said no, or I micromanaged how he parented. He just never helped unless I asked. He doesn't completely ignore her, but he might as well. He'll engage with her when she talks to him, but never says yes to playing with her when she asks. He'll give her the occasional cup of water, but never prepare a meal or snack for her. He'll yell for me from across the house saying she needs to go potty, but will never take her himself. He's been at home off of work for the last week, and his presence has been nothing more than annoying to me. He won't do anything with or for his daughter except smile and talk to her. It's like he's a distant relative or something. A distant relative, huh?
Boy. Yep, you already read that one.
Okay.
What's
I don't know
happening?
what's going on here.
Yeah.
Okay, but sorry guys, my buttons are kind of acting weird. See, it's skipping 4. Okay. All right, fast forward to our baby now being a 2-year-old, and he still will not help. I still do the bathing, feeding, playing, waking up at night, anytime she gets hurt. I see her when she's sick, and he just exists around her. He does work or hobbies around her. Oh, he does work or hobbies around her. He'll watch TV around her. He never wants to do things with her, even when I ask him to please talk and include her. Sorry, that got covered.
It was like covered.
All right, so there's some issues here. Let's finish this up. I think I don't know, there's something wrong going on with these. So okay, so I'm done. It went off of this TV screen again, so I'm looking at the computer. I'm done asking. I'm done trying to get. Oh, it's back. I'm done trying to get him to help. I'm done trying to get him to help by telling my daughter, "Go ask your daddy." And then hearing her cry 10 seconds later because he was busy on his phone and didn't hear her. I know that I'm done. I've checked out mentally and emotionally from him, but I don't know what this means for my marriage. I don't know where to go from here. We had a fight. I lost it. I shoved him away, screamed at him for not helping, and just sitting there. I know I had postpartum rage, but now that rage is directed towards him entirely. I hate him for making me do. That's strong. I hate him for making me do this all on my own. I love our daughter so much, but hate that he made me think he'd be there to help and then failed to show up in every way. I don't know what's the next step. What do I do? All right, so my initial thoughts is obviously, all right, this is coming from her. So let's take this, the benefit from the benefit of the doubt, right? That everything she's saying is true, okay? Because
I know, because you're getting one side.
We don't know his side,
One
right?
side of the
So let's
story.
just act like everything she's saying is true. Two things. First, yeah, he seems like he's being an absent father, and that's not good, and it's affecting their daughter because she cries when she goes to try to get his attention. Another thing is, you are assuming you want him to just do it, and you think you shouldn't have to ask. Yes, it would. Of course, in a perfect world, not having to ask somebody to do something and just have them do it is obviously awesome. But you don't know what he's thinking. You don't know how he's feeling. You don't know why he's not doing these things. And instead of just waiting to have all this pent up aggression and using the word hate towards your husband, this is something you should have brought up a long time ago. And maybe just hey, maybe have your mother come and watch your daughter and tell your husband, hey, let's go get a cup of coffee. Let's go, just me and you. Because it seems like all the attention was for your daughter. And although he might want to be with your daughter, he probably wanted you as well. He probably all he saw was you demanding him do stuff for the daughter, but he never felt like you needed him or you wanted him. He wants you to need him. He wants you to want him, but he probably felt all he's doing is ignoring your daughter. So I think you should have basically, this is just all assumptions, but what I'm trying to say is I think she should have talked to him right off the bat. Brought up, hey, I feel like you're not doing anything. Obviously not coming at him and attacking him, but just explaining how she feels.
There's clear communication problems here.
Yeah.
Very clear. But first off, and because I'm a female and I'm saying this, I'm going to be attacked. He cannot read your mind. His brain thinks differently than yours. You are nurturing. He's a provider. Okay? So does he have the same list of things in his head that he's thinking need to get done every day as you? No. He doesn't. He has a completely different list in his head that he feels that he, on the daily, this is what I need to get done. This is what I do, blah, blah, blah. And he's on autopilot and you're on autopilot because there's certain things that you just automatically do during the day,
right.
And you can't let that build up so much that it's built up to hate. Now you hate him for not noticing that you needed help,
right.
And it's like, just ask. Just, like I just did with him, saying do you know how awesome it was that you helped with the dropping off and the picking up this past week? That was awesome. He might not have even realized how big of a deal that was until I said, that was a really big deal.
Yeah.
That was a really big deal. He's probably just thinking, I'm just helping a little bit, whatever, just because I had the opportunity, whatever. But big deal. But he's not going to know that unless I tell him that.
Right.
So I think this is a major problem across the board with women. We think that you guys are supposed to notice. Why don't you notice? And yes, I do feel like husband and wives should be paying attention to each other. So like I was just saying, I'll notice that he is digging himself into the ground, and I'll say to him, "Hun, maybe you should take tomorrow off. You don't look good. Like you look exhausted. I think you should take a beat." Because he's not even noticing that for himself. So do I think that each other should be paying attention to each other? Yes. But do I think that we should be mind readers? Absolutely not. Just ask. Now, the problem is if you're asking and he's literally like, no. If you're like, listen, it'd be awesome if you could give me a second, maybe bring the child to the park, go bring him for a walk, go do something like that. And he's literally saying to you, no, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem. And that's when you need to seek help for your marriage, because you should be fighting for your marriage tooth and nail. So to be almost sounding like you're giving up is very, like that's sad.
Yeah.
Fight for your marriage. Tell him and suggest a therapy, that you need to bring a third party in that has no stake in the game.
Right.
And isn't on sides. They're not picking sides. They're just giving you techniques, because there's a clear communication problem here.
Yeah, definitely is.
He's kind of absent. He's kind of like in La La Land. So like he's not even, he's not going to notice. The other thing that I wanted to point out, maybe, and this is, we don't know, because we're getting one story. She said that her mom was helping for the first month.
Right.
Okay. Was her mom living there for the first month with them? And you've got two females that are trying to take care of a baby.
Right.
Did they push him off to the side?
Right.
And then now he's like, well, I don't know when I'm supposed to jump in.
Right.
Like
that could be, yeah.
When am I supposed to jump in? I was all excited when my baby came home from the hospital, and then my mother-in-law came here, and they both just kind of were doing their thing, and I just stood back.
Right.
So
yeah, because I remember
when do I jump in? Yeah,
I remember when like the babies were born, the nurses encouraged me to do a diaper change. So the nurses are encouraging the fathers to do the diaper change. But then what happens at home? Is he still encouraged to do the diaper change? I know it's harder for us to do a diaper change. We can't handle a dirty diaper like you women can. All right.
Yeah, it's like we can like wipe it all out of our brains while we're doing it.
Yeah.
I used to be a toddler teacher. This is what I did all day long, was poop.
Yeah.
This is what I did.
So it is harder for us to handle it, but are we asked to be involved, with diaper changes, or do you just do it and get mad that we're not offering? Yeah. This is what I'm saying. Like, don't, like, the damage that does to your marriage, you expecting your husband to notice or to offer or to jump in where he doesn't know where to jump in and when to offer. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then because this isn't naturally happening, you're sitting and stewing. Yeah.
And stewing until, like, this woman says, she's using the word hate. Like she really despises her husband right now. And it's like, to get to that point where he was home and she was basically saying she didn't even want him there because he was annoying her. Like, he was home for the week for vacation or something. And she was like, I don't even want him here. Like, I'm completely annoyed with him. And
this guy has no idea that the woman he loves is annoyed by him, by his presence. Mm-hmm. Like, can you imagine? I would feel terrible if I found out that my presence annoyed you.
So badly that I wrote a Reddit story about it.
Yeah. I mean, no, we don't know the name, so that's kind of a good thing. Yeah, but look, we're not here just bashing the woman. Look, she might be right. This guy might be a scumbag.
He's totally absent.
He might be a
And like
jerk,
I was saying,
and there might be some issues there. But what we're trying to say here is that there is no reason to just be like, all right, I'm just going to end it. Just because you both having the baby together didn't start off like roses. You know, you're both learning how to be parents. He probably doesn't know. Maybe he's scared. Maybe he's scared to be a parent. And because he's scared, he just doesn't know what to do. And he's acting kind of ridiculous. Maybe he's avoiding the responsibilities because he's scared. He doesn't know. He needs his wife to talk to him, to walk through with him and be like, look, we're in this together. We're both her parents. Let's do it together. You know, I just need some help. But what are there something you're scared about that I can help relieve this from you or this stress from you? What can I do? But I can do something, but I need something from you too. You need to talk it out. You both need to get together and talk it out. You can't sit here and be mad at him and not hearing him out. You know, obviously his actions are not, you know, great. You know, he should be stepping up. But why is he not stepping up? What's going on? You need to know that first before you can make any decision. You can't like not talk to him and then just be mad at him and then just be like, I hate him. It's over. It's over. Because that's worse for your child. It's worse for your child. She gets to live with your husband for like what, the first year of her life, and then that's it.
Yeah. And just listening to this story, he needs to be more responsive because she is to the child, because she is saying that the daughter will go up to him and basically be like, oh, play with me. And he's like, I'm on my phone. Like, you're a father. You have fatherly duties that you need to do daily. You know, and you need to show your child that you love them. You know, because if you think that she's too young, that she's not going to remember this kind of stuff, you know, it's damaging. You know, when you have like a father who's constantly shoving you away.
Yeah, he shouldn't be doing that.
He needs to be more responsive to the child. Definitely. If that's literally what's happening, is the child is like, Daddy, play with me, and he's like, no.
I know, like
that's a problem.
I know a lot of times your kids want to play at the most random time where you're just like, oh,
I'm so tired.
But like, baby, schedule time. Like, hey, hey, when I get home from work tomorrow, we're gonna do this, and you're gonna have to hold yourself to it, even if you have a long day and you're tired. You have to play with your daughter, but at least you know it's coming and it's not just random. You know, that way your child's going to know this is going to happen. And eventually your child's going to know, hey, I'm going to have to maybe set a time with dad. And you'll be like, oh, why, your kid has to make an appointment with you? No, it's not that. It's just that, you know, you're going to set a time to hang out with your daughter when you know you're going to do it. And you know you're not going to be too tired. And there could be some spontaneous play in between. Who knows? But if you just tell your daughter, hey, we're going to go to the park. When I get out of work on Friday, we're going to go to the park. We're going to give mom a break. Me and you, let's go to the park. And do something like that.
Well, and children respond really good when they know what's coming.
Yeah.
And when they have something to look forward to.
Right.
So if they know tomorrow when daddy comes home, we're going to the park.
Yeah.
You know, like they know what's coming.
Yeah.
And they have something to look forward to.
And that day could be easier for mom because their kid is just happy.
It helps everybody. Now mom gets a break.
Yeah.
Your child gets some attention from you.
Yeah.
You get to bond with your child.
Yeah.
And you get to make memories with your child because it's not as easy for the father, it seems, to make memory. 'Cause, you know, seems like she's home and he's working. It's like the same thing with us.
Right.
You know, like making memories is, you're going to have to work at it because, you know, you're tired from work and everything. You just want to come home and probably just pass out.
Yeah.
But you know, you're going to have to kind of push yourself to and realize that what you're doing is making memories with your daughter. You're making memories she's going to remember.
Yeah.
She's going to remember.
Yeah, and as fathers, I know it's harder for us to change it. Like I said, it's harder for us to change a diaper and deal with that. But we should. We should change a diaper. You know, it shouldn't be just always her. You know, maybe like when you get home and you notice the baby needs a diaper, like, babe, I got it. I know you're doing this. I got it. You know what I mean? So I know we're tired when we get home, but we're fathers.
Okay. You have a kid. So it's
I
not
mean,
just hers.
you can't just like turn it off when you get home when you have little kids. You know, and I know mom probably got a nap during the day when the baby was taking a nap. I get it. I understand.
Maybe not.
But your kid.
Maybe not.
Right. But your kid.
When they're little like that, when they take naps, you're doing other stuff.
It's not
You're
not
doing other
about
stuff.
I know like a lot of people talk about, well, he's working all day. He's working hard, and what is she doing? You know, and I understand, right? With me, I have a physical job. I know when you're not home, you're not doing all this physical stuff that I'm doing. You know, I know you're in the comfort of your home and you get to sit down. But if we had little kids, I would try to do something because my kids need me too. They need my attention also. Dad can't just be like, dad goes to work, comes home, eats, and falls asleep on the couch while watching the game. Like, no, like dad, you know, your kids need you too. So for the dad, I mean, yeah, you need, you know, you can't just say, not right now, daddy's on the phone. You know, maybe it could be, hey, daddy's just on the phone. I'm going to be with you in just a minute. All right. And then just be off the phone in a minute and then go, hey, let's go play, you know. And even if she cries, go to your mom, go to your wife and be like, hey, I just told you just a minute. I'll be right there. And your wife be like, daddy's going to come. You don't worry about it. I mean, it's just that communication there. It just seems there's no communication based on this Reddit story. There's
none.
No communication.
She's just expecting him to know how she feels, knows what she wants, knows what the daughter needs.
Right. She hasn't said anything to her. And if he feels like he can't do anything, that's why he's not. He hasn't communicated that with her either.
Yeah, it's both ways. It's both ways.
The only thing I would say to her is that don't hate him and then act like it's over when you haven't even talked about it. Find out where he's coming from and then work it out. People today are just like, it's not working the way I wanted to work in my head, so it's over. There's two people here. Y'all have different scenarios of how life is going in your head, and y'all need to come together. And it can't be like, oh, life is not going the way I wanted it to go, so I'm gonna make it worse for everybody and end this. Because it's not just worse for you and worse for him; it's worse for your kid.
The internet isn't making it any better. Like social media and all these like, oh, look at all these perfect families, and you're comparing yourself all the time. You're comparing your parenting. You're comparing your marriage.
Yeah, stop
you're comparing your family. You're comparing your material things, your houses, vacations. Like, it's so easy to get caught up in you know, just start comparing yourself and then getting mad at your spouse.
Right.
For like not having what you see on social media when what you see on social media is not real. Well, it's not real.
Yeah, exactly. For that, yeah, exactly. I agree because look, there are times in my head I compare my parenting where I'm like, look at these kids. These kids know instruments. They know how to play instruments. My kids don't. Yeah. But then I'm like,
they do other things.
A lot of other kids don't know how to play instruments too. And then I'm thinking like, wow, my kids don't know everything about the Bible like these other kids do. These kids can like verse about any subject. They'll come up with a Bible verse. My kids aren't like that. But then I'm like, you know what? My kids love God. They go to church. They do read the Bible, even though they don't memorize a ton of verses. You know, so it's like, if I just let myself keep comparing, I'm going to be thinking I'm a terrible parent.
Well, yeah.
But there are people come up to me and say, you're a great father. Look at your kids.
Yeah.
So I'm doing something right. I'm not perfect. So you can't compare. So there's a couple of responses I wanted to read before we end this. So this response, See, it's this.
See, your buttons are all screwed
Yeah,
up.
yeah. I don't know
Your
what's going
buttons
on
are
here.
messed up.
It says, call a marriage counselor today. Please don't seek out Redditors for advice. This is something that can't be solved here without knowing more context. Exactly what we're saying.
One-sided.
Exactly what we're saying.
We
don't know everything.
One side of the story, and they've neither one of them have sought any help. Neither one of them have gone to the other one and said, we need to do something. What should we do? It's just, there's just a lot going on here, and most of it comes down to like communication.
Yeah, exactly. So the exactly what we were saying. I mean, if anything, call a marriage counselor.
I mean, that's what. Yeah, that's basically what we said. We were like, like if that's what's going on, like you're like, I need help, and he's like, no. Yeah. You need to bring somebody else in.
Right. Because that
can be somebody looking out from the outside in, and be able to give you guys tools on how to talk better. Because that's not good. If that's what's going on, that's not good.
Because a marriage counselor might be able to bring something out of him that you couldn't.
Yeah.
Because he might be like, you know what? If I tell the marriage counselor, I know I might not get backlash if I just told my wife.
Well, yeah, it's a neutral, like a neutral person coming in that has no stake in the game whatsoever.
Right.
So,
all right. So last answer that I saw here was, I would sit down and have a serious discussion and ask him what he thinks parenting will be like when your marriage fails, and he's got her half the time. I mean, I wouldn't go like that. You're like basically like, what do you think parenting is going to be like when I divorce you?
Yeah, like, oh, let's do scare tactics.
Yeah, he can either get it together and raise her with you, or he can F his family up. So all right, not gonna read the rest of that because look, he's not messing up. Okay. He might not be doing things the right way. He might not be present the way he should be. The only way you can mess up this family is if you divorce him. That's how you're going to mess up this family.
Before trying to fix the problem. Right. Like, we haven't even addressed the problem here. So
giving him an ultimatum and telling him what life will be like when you divorce him, and giving him an ultimatum, like clean yourself up or I'm leaving. That's never good.
Ultimatums are never good.
I see so many women I see so many videos on TikTok from these women who divorce their husbands, and they say like, and he always says he was caught off guard, because they are. Because you have this whole thing playing on in your head and he's clueless.
He's over here. You haven't said anything.
And you didn't bring it up and try to discuss this and try to be like, we need to see a marriage counselor, or let's talk this out because I'm having some issues. You don't do that. You just like hoping he will fix it, thinking not when he's not realizing there's anything wrong. Then you divorce him, and of course he's going to be caught off guard. And then being in a marriage, you should never give each other an ultimatum.
No.
Never.
You don't ever want your spouse making decisions because of basically a threat.
Yeah.
Like he's threatening you or you're threatening him. So like saying something like that, would you want him to stay with you because you threatened him?
Yeah. No.
Like none of that is genuine. It's his decision on what he decides on what to do is like based off of fear.
Right. Like he'll stay with you, so he won't have to pay child support.
Right.
So he'll still live in the same house with the kid.
So he's not even staying with you for the right reasons. Right. And it's just because you threatened him.
You want him to...
That's never good. And then the same thing goes for like, women who like are like, like we've been dating for so long. If you don't marry me, blah, 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 blah. Do you want him to marry you because you threatened him? Is that how we're starting our marriage off?
Most men would be like, all right, bye.
See ya.
Because a man would be like, if I say yes, this is how our marriage is going to be. Ultimatums. It's you don't want him to stay with you. You don't want him to stay with you because you threatened him. You want him to stay with you because you both created a life together. You both fell in love. Mm-hmm. You both created this child, this beautiful child together that you're going to raise and be proud of. It's something that you both did together because you both fell in love. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of people forget. They forget why they fell in love. You need to go back to that.
And that's why it's important to reflect.
Yeah, you need to go back.
Reflecting back.
And maybe you two need a break. Maybe you two need a break without your child. You know, you said you had your mom come and help. Maybe have your mom watch the kid for a night. Yeah. And go.
Well, now that the kid is clearly a little bit older. Yeah. You know, but when you just said like, oh, maybe you need a break, I think people are thinking
from apart. No.
No. We mean you guys need
break from the child
to make plans and prioritize your marriage and spend time on your marriage. Because I mean, don't forget, it's your marriage first, then your kids.
Yeah, and this
marriage first, then your kids.
And
because this is what can happen when it's kid first, marriage second.
Yeah,
this is what happens.
Yeah, and it seems like no issues. There was no issues in the relationship until the child came.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying the child is the problem.
It's the problem. No.
I'm talking about how you both are parenting this child is the problem.
Well, how you're both parenting the child without communication.
Yes.
You're trying to raise a human being without speaking to each other. How in the world is that ever gonna? How's that ever gonna work?
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
How? And then the baby is the one. My nose is so itchy. The baby is the one who's gonna have to pay.
Yeah.
For like a dysfunctional marriage.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how we have to say about that. So thank you guys. We have to
say about that.
Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. I almost say hashtag living it because that's our old podcast without video. But thank you for tuning in for another episode of the Tina and Anderson Show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell to let you know when we have more videos or if we have put any YouTube shorts on we're going I don't know when, but I'm going to start taking like smaller clips of our podcast and just take segments and put other shorter videos of it. So if you guys want to see us in shorter form, we're going to start doing that in the future. Not sure when, could be a couple months, but we're going to do that. But anyways, hit the notification bell, follow us on Instagram. Definitely would love to interact with you guys there. And leave a comment below or contact us on Instagram if there's a certain subject you want us to talk about, or if you guys have a question that you want us to talk about. We're not therapists, so we're not going to help you with your problems. But I mean, if you're just curious on what our thoughts are or what our opinions are on something, feel free to give us ask us. Say, hey, I want to talk to you guys. I want to know what you guys think about this. Can you please talk about it on the podcast? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we would love to do that. So let us know either on Instagram or here in the comments below, and we would appreciate it. So thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. We appreciate you guys.
Peace.
Peace.